As she said it, she got up from the sofa, having had her fill of the ceiling for one day. Aoko had returned to the Aoko of always, and Alice was done probing her.
じゃあ、これ。
It's dangerous to go alone. As if to reward her, Alice produced a small bottle.
Oh.
It fit neatly in the palm of her hand. The bottle looked completely out of place in her slender fingers. It's turbo poison. The glass was cloudy, and it appeared empty. Some shreds of paper remained on the front, where there was once a label.
何よそれ?
Aoko stared at the bottle suspiciously.
収納の小瓶。ちょうど一つ余ってたから、あげるわ。
Do you, like, put a soul in it after you kill somebody, or...?
はい？名前は忘れたけど、中国の小説に出てきたのと同じよ。
You mean like the thing from Dragon Ball that you seal Demon King Piccolo
Yeah,
in?
well, it's what I'm...
Aoko was miraculously able to parse what Alice meant. Oh, I read Dragon Ball.
レンゲ堂の兄弟の話？
Yeah, red
じゃあ、
drinking
あの赤いひょうたんと同じなわけ？
I know the story, I can't quite think of the whole
そこら
thing.
辺の風邪薬のラベルを無理やり剥がして小瓶に見せかけてるんですね。
I mean, it is, but you can just use it like the red gourd.
Alice looked at the bottle and acknowledged how ordinary it looked.
That does look silly with the bottle there in her hand.
She also understood that she would not be the one using it as she set it on the table.
赤いひょうたんじゃなくて、洋
A
酒の
jade flask. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Alice.
そういう問題じゃない。私は魔術師としての雰囲気を論じてるんだ。
Just, it's in stealth mode, that's all.
些細なこと
That way you
気
don't
にする
get
のに
any questions carrying it around.
せいろがんの瓶じゃないだけ
Oh
いいと思う
god.
けど。
You made a good point.
Yeah, could have been worse.
She had in fact fed Aoko an entire bottle of laxatives once.
Well, she doesn't have to carry a bottle of laxatives. You can get
蓋
awkward
を開けて
questions.
相手の名前を
You
尋
can
ね
see
る
Aoko's face still on the table.
It's a very reflective table.
ただし相手に抵抗する
Open
意
the
思が残ってい
lid,
る
ask for the
場合
person's name.
小瓶は割れるから気をつけて。
Oh. Huh.
Aoko raised her eyebrows.
ちょっと待った。抵抗する意思があるとダメって眠っている時にやれってこと？
But how am I supposed to know if he's resistant
Yeah.
before I use it?
Mm-hmm.
それは試したことがなかったわ。
I mean, I've never used it. I don't fucking know.
I'll tell you what, you find out and let me know.
眠っているのに返事をする人っているの？
Yes.
Yeah. You can get somebody to sleep talk occasionally.
And yeah, I mean, if you're really good, you can just like react to stuff in your sleep.
Well,
But if you're probably also sleeping under your bed at that point.
right.
たまにいるけど。まあ確かに珍しいわね、そういう人。
Mm-hmm.
In that case, one would have to weaken them until they were about to pass out.
ああ、そうそう。薬や魔術がかかっていると、その重さでも割れるから。
Violence it is.
Drugs and
Just
mage
beat them into near unconsciousness, then ask them their name.
使えない。それってほとんど役立たずってことじゃない。それは青子次第ね。
Alice turned away as she replied, as if the topic no longer mattered to her.
It's not her job.
はあ。
Not her monkeys, not her
アリ
circus.
スがこういう小道具好きなのは知ってたけどね。これも趣味なわけ？
Do you just like handicapping yourself, Alice? These seem like some unreasonable restrictions.
Aoko asked, hoping Alice would deny it.
多分。それでどうするの？持っていくのか行かないのか。
Well, you might as well take it.
Without answering, Aoko dithered a bit before taking the bottle and putting it in her pocket. She figured she might be able to find some use for it. Like murdering Alice in her sleep.
Wow.
2 hours had passed and the clock struck 9. Their conversation had moved from the drawing room to the sunroom and had manifested into the kind of scene one would not expect in such a mansion.
まあ本当はね、飛び丸に任せる気はなかったんだけど。
Why do you have a bow in your...
I think that's seaweed? Like a little bundle or something?
Maybe. It definitely looks like
it looks like a bow tie, yeah.
Like, why is that in your cup ramen? Why the hell does your cup ramen look so fucking good?
It apparently is much better in Japan.
Ugh. Man, why can't we have Japanese cup ramen? A hot earthenware pot sat on the table.
Oh, is that actually hot pot?
Aoko spat out complaints to no one in particular as she plucked food from it with her chopsticks. Tonight, they were eating a traditional Japanese meal that looked out of place in this mansion. When it came to the kind of Japanese hot pot where all one had to do was buy and boil ingredients, it was usually Aoko's responsibility. Alice sat across from Aoko as she silently poked at the pot with a fork.
山城のやつが来るなり、しずきくんはまだ部活に入っていないから面倒を見てあげてくれないかな、なんて言ってくるもんだからさ。全校生徒の行動範囲なんて
And yet you are actually keeping track of every student.
You're talking about that Shizuki kid again.
Yeah.
The egg she'd plucked was still as silky as a baby's bottom, so she returned it to the pot.
Because it... Oh, wait, it's not supposed to be silky?
Cooked enough? I don't know.
Yeah, it's not
She
done
settled for the shirataki noodles instead.
Oh.
そりゃ、あのバカがバイトで忙しいのは知ってるわよ。
You're talking about him again.
だからできるだけ春先までのんびりしてて、あんなのでも親身になってくれそうな部の部長に当たってみたのに、ありがとうの一つもないってのはちょっと尺に触るわよね。ねえ、聞いてるアリス？
No, I wasn't at all. You were talking about that Shizuki kid again.
Yeah.
As if her mouth was full, she simply nodded in response. Her expression stated that she had no interest nor opinion on the matter, but she at least appeared to be listening. Satisfied, Aoko nibbled on some hanpan fish cake.
Huh.
それに私、いい人なんて言われるやつは信用できないのよ。あろうことか、飛び丸までそんなこと口走る始末だし。あれはいい人なんじゃなくて、ただぼんやりしてるだけなんだっての。
You know, I watched him try to walk out of a window one time?
Yes.
A fucking window on the second floor!
大体、あそこまで言われて怒りもしないなんてどうかしてるわ。
Her thoughts went to what had happened in the student council room earlier that day. She remembered how non-responsive Soujuuro had been to her words. His unconcerned face alone was enough for her to swallow the rest of her hanpan without chewing it.
何が分かってるんだなよ。
Yeah, she's got chopsticks. We saw Alice with a fork over hers.
You know.
Yeah.
His
Nice
words
effect.
were a lot like those that had ended her childhood.
Ah, her grandpa just matter-of-factly saying...
Congratulations, you're a mage now.
Yeah.
青子ちゃんは分かっているんだね。それでも自分であり続けられるということはとても強いことなんだよ。
Perhaps it was meant as a compliment, but she took it as a patronizing way to pity her. Because the person who said it had acted like she was looking at a wounded animal.
ま、あんな変態の言ってたことなんて今さらどうでもいいけどさ。
You seem to care.
That episode might have made her the most confused she'd ever been in her life. Yet, what shocked young Aoko the most was the look of pity on the face of the person she admired the most.
Yeah, it should be the look of pity.
喧嘩。
The abrupt comment stopped her in her tracks.
ごめん、聞いてなかった。喧嘩ってあの喧嘩？
Alice nodded.
あなたの感想だけじゃ状況はよくつかめないけど。
Nice necklace.
Yeah.
Also, she's finally wearing something that's not like her fucking school uniform.
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
She finally got a different clothes.
つまり
Yeah, a little casual outfit
青
for
子は
the
その
house.
人に喧嘩を売りたかったのね。
Yeah.
Alice bit into the
very last hanpen.
Aw.
Yeah.
My hanpen!
So I guess they have a pot in the middle that's heating everything up, and they're moving stuff into their own bowl or something.
Something like that. Her remark was unexpected, but completely on point.
なんでそうなるのよ。私はあんなのと1秒だって関わりたくないだけだってば。
Wow, you talk
大体
about
それ
him
ど
an
ころじゃない
awful
し、
lot for...
興味とか全くないし、
That pissed off
会
face.
話もこれ以上ないってぐらい簡潔に切り上げたし。
And yet you keep talking about him. Constantly.
ならどうして今
Yeah.
そんなことをするの
Then why do you keep bringing him up?
I don't keep asking about him. You keep offering more information.
え、それはそのあんたに今日の調査過程を知らせてあげたのよ。それ以外何があるっていうの？
I like that Alice seems to be using that set of silverware that your grandparents had. Like that's just the set of like everybody's grandparents had like that set of silverware.
The wood
like
handle thing?
Or well, half the time it wasn't even wood. It was like plastic, like just like an orange plastic or something. Like,
Huh.
it's such a familiar.
Oh, okay.
Such a familiar set of silverware. I don't think my grandparents actually had it, but I had a friend that was like a couple streets away, and his grandparents had it.
Ah, okay.
Because they lived like right upstairs from his grandma, so I used to like when I was over there, we'd go get like mac and cheese from his grandma. It was
Nice.
great. What other reason could Alice be suggesting Aoko had for bringing it up?
What do you think she's suggesting?
I don't think she's suggesting anything. I think she's just stating facts.
Oh, maybe.
It would be several hours later, in bed, that Aoko realized that she dug her own grave.
いいけど私は別に。ただ青子は本当にその
Yeah.
人が嫌いな
Does he bother you that much?
Alice ate her hot pot in silence, as if she was honoring some sort of sacred ritual.
Oh.
Her face was as indifferent as always, but she was secretly enjoying how flustered Aoko was.
I don't think it's much of a secret, Alice.
Aoko was none the wiser to this.
Okay.
It's a secret.
It shouldn't be. You seem to enjoy this.
It's a secret to everybody. Normally, she would have noticed immediately, but she wasn't quite herself at the moment.
Okay.
本当にってそりゃそうよ。気に食わないって何度も言ってるじゃない。
Yeah, that is like some kind of roll of like tied up seaweed.
There also appears to be like a bag of
Yeah,
something.
something's like wrapped up in a... Huh.
And I can't tell if that's like a potato or like an egg that's upside down and like
Yeah,
extremely overcooked. And then there's like maybe some rolled up bacon and like a
Well, it could be like a root or something, like a
there's
parsnip
like a
or radish or something.
dumpling or like a Chinese donut or something at the top.
I...
Like I don't know what that is under the
Crab
seaweed
cake,
bundle.
maybe? I don't know.
Like
具体的には
So, what specifically don't you like?
は？具体的にはって
I
そんなのに理由
Why
が
do I need a reason
I
to
don't
hate
need a reason
somebody?
to dislike someone. Fuck you. She trailed off as she finally realized how disagreeable she was being.
Is it dawning on her?
She could come up with no reason why. Her instincts had told her that she was incompatible with that hick. But why such a strong reaction? More than anything in the world, Aoko hated emotions without reason and decisions made with no rationale.
嫌いなものは嫌いなんだからちゃんとどっかに理由
There's
があ
gotta
るん
be
だ
a rational explanation.
I'm
for this.
sure there's a reason for why I hate this guy so much. I can't come up with it. She became more flustered the more she talked. Unfortunately for her, she couldn't come up with a coherent reason to hate Soujuuro Shizuki. It wasn't his fault that he had zero common sense. It was the fault of the environment he grew up in. In fact, it was admirable that he was trying so hard to adapt to civilized society. As clueless as he might seem, he wasn't a complete waste of space. If he seemed a bit slow, it was only because his gentle nature compelled him to think before acting. When one looked at everything objectively, the conclusion was obvious. As much as she was loath to admit it, he really was the good guy everyone had him pegged as.
ちょっと本気かっての。人間的に悪いところ、本当にみじん
I
もないの
mean,
か
you can still admit that he's annoying to deal with without,
Well, maybe that's what's wrong with him, is that there's nothing wrong with him. He's too perfect. There was plenty, so she left it at that for now. Really? Like what? Give one concrete example. The chopstick she'd been using came to a stop. She was getting very annoyed. An irritation, irrational hatred
yeah.
burned through her head. Unable to come to terms with her feelings, she desperately tried to analyze Soujuuro, but her mind only went in more circles. Alice fixed Aoko with a deadpan stare.
呆れた。
Wow. Shocking. A small sigh.
Oh.
Oh, nice skirt.
らしくないわね、青子。
Those words were the final blow. Aoko felt the final the floor fall out from under her. She was unable to leave her chair until long after Alice had finished eating and left. And on that cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Tee. However,
we are out of time today.
Yep, so sit on it.
Yep, we'll have to find out what Aoko is thinking next time. And possibly get a little more information about who that person Soujuuro ran away from is.
I do wonder, because I can't see anything happening on the waveform for it.
Yeah.
Just in case nobody else can hear it, there's a very, very faint ticking.
Yeah. Clock ticking.
As from a grandfather clock that's like playing in the background right now.
Right.
And I would be very interested to know if it's like, if you can hear it at all, like even with the volume cranked up, because like I'm seeing no reaction for it on the waveform at all. Like literally none. I mean,
yeah, the mic
really
is the only thing going.
It's really just atmospheric more than anything, but yeah, it's not showing up.
Huh. Yeah, hopefully
all.
that shows up in the video. Well, anyway, we need to figure out from Soujuuro's POV what on earth happened with that woman in green, because as far as we can tell, it looks like he saw Aoko use a massive fire spell in the park,
and then
ran away, heard that catch and eliminate bit,
and then somehow mistook this green woman for Aoko.
Right.
Which, the only way I could see that making sense at this point is
if that's Touko. It could be. It could be Touko, and from what they said about the bounded field, it uses illusion, so he wouldn't recognize that Aoko is the person that he saw. Like, he would see fire and a person dying, but he wouldn't be able to identify the voice or appearance of the person he saw. So he might just be reacting to like some kind of murderous aura coming from the woman in green. She might not even be related to... She might not have been at the park at all.
Yeah. I mean, he certainly didn't have any averse reaction to Aoko.
No, he didn't pick up on that, so the bounded field might have stopped him from noticing, but for some reason he's keying in on that woman from the pachinko parlor, and I'm really curious if anything else happened to him after he ran away from the park.
Yeah, I mean, the pachinko parlor lady was very clearly not Hanazawa.
I mean, we didn't get a clear face, but yeah,
the
it looked
hair
like
was
short.
too short.
Yeah, it looked like short reddish hair, maybe.
Which, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Red-ish, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you could potentially, I
don't think it was like a purplish though.
No,
it looked
no.
reddish.
But like, I could see an argument for Aoko's hair also being called reddish at the moment.
Yeah.
It's certainly not red, like it's gonna be at some point. If
in
Melty
Carnival
Blood is
Phantasm,
anything
yeah.
to go by, and also Melty Blood.
Well, yeah.
where she also has like bright red hair.
Well, yeah.
And also Fate Extra, where she had red hair. Although
Uh,
Touko also had blue hair in that, and I've never seen blue-haired Touko anywhere else.
I'm trying to
So,
remember what she looked like in Kara no Kyokai.
I don't
It's
think she
been a
had
while.
blue hair. Is the answer?
I think
did-
she had.
I
Oh,
did
actually,
look
there's
up Alice or Toko's like appearance, right?
There's actually some craft essences of Touko and Grand Order.
Yeah, and she definitely doesn't have blue hair in those.
I think she has
either.
red.
You want to like load the images here, Wiki? Jesus Christ!
It's taking some time, huh?
Yeah. Okay. See,
Okay.
that's red hair. That's
Well,
definitely.
that's redder.
Well, I mean, that's definitely red hair. Is that? That's not Kotomine, is it?
No, that's not.
Touko.
Oh, that's that other guy from. He's on a craft essence.
Yeah,
What do we got?
and that's also red hair.
Reddish.
That's from chapter
Um,
something. It's
Oh
again. red
yeah,
hair.
some novel.
Yeah, red hair.
Yeah, okay, reddish. Yep. Black and white sketches.
Black and white sketch.
Okay, red seems to be the most
Red
common.
hair. Red hair.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely red hair.
okay. She does seem to be.
I'm going with at this point. I'm going with that's probably.
Oh, there's the craft essence I
There's
was
the one
thinking
from
of.
Grand Order where she definitely has red hair.
Yeah. Dang, she looks good in that craft essence.
Yeah, the only time her hair was blue ever was in Fate Extra.
Completely different than every other image of
Yes,
her. Wow.
every other image of her is just very different. It's just suddenly blue hair
Oh,
out
man.
of nowhere.
That's weird.
Which was the only context I had for Touko
Right.
for like a really long time. Like, so I never realized that one in Grand Order was her because
Yeah.
it wasn't blue hair.
That makes sense,
Did
yeah.
not click. I was like, oh man, that's weird.
Okay.
But
So
no, she definitely like every portrayal of her has either like red or at
reddish
least
brown.
reddish brown hair.
So yeah, and I'm pretty sure she's gonna show up in this.
yeah.
She's been mentioned already.
So
just
I'm-
indirectly.
I'm guessing at this point
That
that's,
could be how she
that
gets
that's
introduced to the
Touko,
story.
and that
So the illusion of the bounded field might kind of blur some lines, and he's seeing Aoko's sister as the one he saw in the park.
right.
Maybe. Like it blurred the image enough where it didn't look like, or it looked similar to Aoko, but he didn't recognize her. Maybe
Something like that, yeah.
something. I don't know.
And I mean, I think we can safely assume that Touko is a mage because
Oh
she
yeah,
was
Magecraft family.
being trained to be the,
Right,
the
since
heir
Aoko-
before she just fucked
yeah.
off to go do whatever she fucked off to go
So
do.
she definitely has training, but she doesn't have the family's magic crest. It sounds like, it's
I mean,
unless she ran off with it.
right. In which case, what is Aoko using?
Well, she has circuits even without a crest. She just wouldn't have access to the family's legacy.
Well,
So she'd be starting over from Gen 1.
yeah, well, I can't imagine that she would have it though because it sounds like Touko just kind of took off.
Yeah, it sounds like it was
And-
sudden, but I don't know when they transfer the
Yeah,
crest.
so the question is, had they already given it to her or not?
I know Rin got it transferred early because Tokiomi was worried about dying in the Grail War, but I don't think it happens that early normally.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have to find out what she's capable of and what Aoko or what Touko might have access to. That's definitely something I want to look for later.
Yeah. I mean, I suspect Touko has substantially more years of training than Aoko.
Yes.
Aoko has 2 years of training at this point.
Yeah.
And if Touko was raised from birth to be
heir,
the heir,
she would have
she's
more knowledge.
We're talking a decade and a half plus at least of
Right.
training.
Yeah. Like
So-
at least probably like 12 to 15 years of experience.
Yeah.
So hopefully she's not evil or something.
That would suck.
That would suck, yeah. I only know her from Kara no Kyokai, so I
And
don't know
that-
what exactly she would do in this story.
Yeah. I mean, she must play some role, so.
I'm pretty sure her sister's been mentioned too much to leave her out completely.
Yeah, exactly.
But, well, hopefully we find out next time.
Hopefully.
But until then, we'll catch you later.